Welcome everybody to an all new episode of the Street Geeks. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get into this fire spoiler discussion about Ahsoka episode 7. And y'all know what time it is. I got my dog with me, Stu. Dog, what's going on, Stu?
What's up, JJ?
Hey.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir, Stu Dizzle. And ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this hot fire, a spit hot fire, I'm gonna need y'all to please drop us a like, share, subscribe, comment, and also don't forget to hit that little bell to turn on notifications so y'all don't miss a single episode. Me and Stu Dog got some heat coming up for y'all. I know y'all know the new Loki season 2 is coming up. We gonna get into that too. So hit that notification button. Stay tuned, cause this nerdum don't stop, baby. I try to tell you. But man, Stu Dog, episode 7 went down, man, and it was a real good episode, man. What did you think about it, man? Give me some of your likes and dislikes, if you have any.
Okay. I really don't have any dislikes, but I will say what was unique about this episode to me is that I was just excited the whole way through. I mean, I get it. It may not have been as exciting for a lot of other people, but for me, I was just seeing so much like original trilogy and so much well threaded together, fast-paced story unfolding all in one episode. So like, it kind of helped like wrap it up towards what is going to be the finale next week.
Yeah, no doubt. I enjoyed the show. There was a few things that kind of bothered me. It was kind of like, and we're gonna get into them throughout the episode, throughout this episode. But just off the top of my head, real quick. At the end of the episode, when the droid is beeping and all of the troopers turn around and hightail it out of there, why didn't that give the guys a heads up? They're leaving. Get the hell out of there. Y'all standing there just hugging and reconnected. And what have you been doing? No, what have you been doing? Go! Run! Move! Y'all about to get left behind. Y'all gonna be able to catch up for a lot then. And then my only other gripe, and I just talked with you about it off air. I'm glad they paid off the Hera thing when she disobeyed the command. We talked about that on a previous episode, that they had to pay that off. But it felt like a forced payoff. And what I mean by that is we only get 8 episodes of this series, and they're giving us so much that you just know they're not going to be able to pay everything off in that small amount of time, or it's going to just get kind of just buzzed over, a quick payoff. And I felt like with that, it was a great scene, but when Hera asked, or no, when Mon Mothma asked Hera how serious was the threat, I feel like we won't get the payoff to her answer because there's only one episode left and they still over in Peridia. It's, in my opinion, it's hard to imagine that they gonna get back in time for Mon Mothma to realize how serious that threat was. So it feels like it's gonna be left at a cliffhanger, which sets up another season. I'm fine with that. But that was something that I was like, this seems odd. It doesn't seem like it fits there. I don't know. What you think? Am I crazy? Am I overlooking? Am I looking too hard at it?
I think you are. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about Filoni is that he could take really complicated matters and oversimplify it to where it's really easy as like an answer to a question, because like we saw a lot that happened in this last episode.
No doubt.
And you're right, like Hera had that hearing and everything and it all paid off, but not entirely. Like, are we really going to see what are the end conditions to conclude how that uh, is going to be?
Yeah.
um,
And
I think
it might just be setting up season 2 for all I know.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like that is where it ends. We're not going to see any more of that. I think what it's going to do is it's just like, hey, this is what's happening over here, real quick, and then it's going to shoot back to our crew, and it'll probably pick up on the next season. It's
Yeah.
most likely going to happen because I imagine the finale is going to end with Thrawn re-entering back into the galaxy, and that's probably where it's going to end.
I hope it's not. I hope it's a longer episode.
I think it has to be. It's probably got to be like a 15-minute episode at least.
I hope so. I really do. I love what they've been doing with this show, but I want more. Y'all setting up so much now. I want it. Um, and we got some news this week, which bodes well for us getting to season 2. The writer strike is ended.
Oh, what?
They came to an agreement, and the writers are happy. Yeah, so the actors is right around the corner, baby. Hollywood opening them back up. Yeah, they got a
Oh,
they got a they got a nice little piece of change, nice little something something, and they got rules on how to use AI, and the studio can't force it, and they seem to be very happy about what they got. So congratulations, we can get
good on
season
them.
2 started. Um, okay, so let's get into the um to the meat and potatoes of this episode. So the first thing I want to talk about, when the show first started, we had Ahsoka, still on her journey in the mouth of the whale, and we see once they arrive, Thrawn sets a trap for them. They got to come through a imperial landmine field, and the Purgle was getting jacked up in this field, but I, I thought we was gonna see a Purgle drop and die, but they didn't. They all made it, and they
They're quite,
hyperspaced on up out of there.
yeah, they're quite resilient.
And Hu Yang thought it was a good idea to stay in that mouth. If he did, ain't no telling where they would have ended up.
Yeah, no kidding.
But what did you think about that line minefield? I thought honestly, it was cool as hell. Like just to see
Okay,
it, it was pretty dope.
I thought it was really great because it's exactly a Thrawn thing to do. Like I mean, like if you watched him in any of the shows, or if you read any of the books or the comics and stuff like that, that is something Thrawn would do. He would like he was like, I guess, like the only guy I could really think of in like the Empire that actually used like minds and stuff, and they worked like every time. He's good at predicting where things are going to happen. I mean, as soon as they dropped out, I thought they were going to be fired upon.
I did too. I was expecting to see them get shot out with the hyperspace ring. I was expecting that to be waiting on them and just get to airing it out.
So the minefield is a good reminder to let you know that like Thrawn does not think in the symmetrical way everyone else is. He does asymmetrical warfare. So like that
Yeah,
was like that. So like to surprise us is to let us know what exactly our heroes are dealing with. I mean, like with the stormtroopers and everything, like they pulled out of there. Like most of the time, you usually saw them always get committed to something, and they just end up getting wiped out. Not with Thrawn.
yeah. He playing the long game. Um, so I thought that was cool. Another thing that I thought was cool um, was Thrawn gave the Anakin shout out. Now, I know that in the original the books, Thrawn met Anakin as a
Mhm.
general, and he
Yeah, in the
also
Clone
met
Wars, yeah.
and he met Vader, and it kind of loosely makes us believe that he was able to assess that they were the same person. But we got to be careful with that because they've told us the books are no longer canon. So when we had that Anakin shout out, I thought that we would have got a little bit more dialogue to talk about their history and how he knew him. I like that he mentioned that if she's anything like her master, she's going to be quite unpredictable and that's dangerous. I like them throwing that in. But I would have liked to see a little bit more dialogue. If you're telling us that the books are not canon, don't go off of that. Well, then how do you know who Anakin is, Thrawn? I need some
Well,
explanation behind that.
hold on there. This one is canon. Before, Thrawn did not meet Anakin in the Clone Wars from the books that I
Okay, so
read.
that's the new one that he met him.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's from the comic books because when he was
Ah,
first brought to the Emperor and everything, he asked the Emperor, and he's like, "Tell me, after Order 66, did Anakin Skywalker survive?" And the Emperor was like, "No, he did not." He's like, "Why do you ask? He was the first Jedi I ever met, and I met him during your Clone Wars." And he may have figured out, like, Thrawn's a really smart guy, so like he may have known that Anakin and Vader are the same person, or maybe not. I mean, but he did definitely meet him. It is canon because it came from the comic books.
Okay, and yeah, the comic books are definitely canon. Those are still getting made. So okay, I'm glad you
Hmm.
cleared that up. Um, but yeah, I thought that was cool because his face kind of changed. Like her master was Anakin Skywalker. It
Hmm.
was I was expecting an oh shit moment.
Well, I mean,
Oh shit.
you saw it on Thrawn's face. He like pauses,
Yeah, you know
and
what?
he's
Pull back the troops.
like, hold on.
We got to do this a little bit different.
You can see that he's reassessing the plan, and that's what makes Thrawn really cool because you can see that he does commit forces, and then he pulls them out. Like when
Yes.
Ahsoka was starting to flee and hide in all the debris field and everything, he had the ships kind of hunt for her for a short time, and he was like, pull them out.
Yeah.
And everyone, Elspeth is like, why? He's like, she's not going to come out. Like, they're really good at hiding. Like, so
Yeah.
we're not going to force it in order. He knows that it would be quicker for her to come out of hiding if he lets off the attack. And then he's also got the great mothers there that can use their magic to help locate her, and that's what they did.
All he care about is stalling for time, getting them, keeping them
Yeah,
away as long as possible, so we can just take off. Whether they did or not, we're gonna leave them.
yeah, that's what he said right at the end of the episode. He's like, we are winning because like they may have beaten our forces, this and that, but they have lost the one thing they could not afford to lose: time.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
I tell you what, though, another thing with Thrawn, you can consider it a dislike or just maybe a little bit confused about how they did this, but you know, okay, so Thrawn was already on Peridia, the Night Sisters already on Peridia, the catacombs already on Peridia. The only thing that they were waiting on was Morgan to show up with the hyperspace rings. So why didn't Thrawn already have the Chimera loaded with these caskets so they could just skate? By the time Ahsoka is coming, they already gone.
all right,
Now I
well,
know TV. You gotta have a
yeah,
plot. You gotta write it. I get all
yeah. I
that,
mean,
but
it's part of the story. I mean, kind of like you mentioned something before we went on air. You're like, I thought these stormtroopers were going to be different, but they're just dying like normal stormtroopers. Thing is, there are slight subtleties you can see. They are different. They're going to be probably a lot harder to kill because they've been trained by Thrawn. They look different. They behave different. These are
they they,
stormtroopers that don't hesitate.
they sure went
Now,
down easy though.
but the point I'm just going to say is like, what is the point of a stormtrooper if not to just die? I mean, that's all they're really for
Yeah,
show.
it's just when they call them night troopers, and we get all of the red ribbon or the
Oh, but
material that they're using, and I
they
know a lot of that is just repair work.
they're not just they are different. You just got to notice the subtleties about them. They are much more technically inclined. They're not like other stormtroopers. And they look different. But if you also notice something about them, I've noticed is that they don't mingle. They don't talk to each other. They don't do normal stormtrooper behaviors. Where they're like talking and you can see them like moving their helmets and stuff. They're not hanging out. Like whenever they're somewhere, they're just standing there like a statue.
More militant.
Yeah, like that's something I really noticed. It's because sometimes if you look in the background, you can see stormtroopers, even clone troopers, like talking like they're hanging with their buddy.
Yeah,
But
Mandalorian did a good job of showing us those conversations. Um,
but not these guys.
but yeah, they're not talking, and it could just be they used to serving on the throne, and he don't play that. But they still went down so easy.
I mean, it's their job to die.
Yeah, yeah, but it was I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I was like, all
I
right, what's the
I
point
had
besides they just look cooler?
I had a friend that had like an issue with Rogue One when the Vader hallway scene. He's like, why didn't he just use the Force and rip the plans out of that dude's hand? I'm like, I could offer you like three different solutions here. I said maybe he
I
was the one
loved
holding,
Rogue One.
maybe he was holding the door shut. Or two, I said, or you could just let your imagination go and just understand that Vader is always doomed to fail. Just like stormtroopers, they're always doomed to fail. They're meant to die. So I wouldn't
Yeah,
think on it too much.
yeah. I don't know. I was just hoping that they were going, be tougher. Um,
Yeah, we might see it. Maybe it was just
and
when they're not fighting against, three Force users.
and I'm hoping that maybe over the long as they give us more Thrawn, I don't know if it's in another season, another series, or in the movies, but maybe we'll get a chance to see them do a little bit more. Maybe right now they're trying to speed through this thing, and I don't know. But also during that brawl with the night troopers, we got a chance to see Ezra. Ezra got down with his fighting style. The Force is my ally. Well, what do you say? The Force is my weapon or my friend or something like that.
My ally.
Um, and didn't want to take the lightsaber, which pretty much everybody assumed that that's how that was going to play out. That he was going to let her keep it. But what did
Yeah,
you think about this new um, in tune with the Force? I don't need a weapon. Um,
I, I
Ezra.
really like it. If it was any other character, I don't think it would have worked out that well. It would have had to been someone like Ezra or Ahsoka or someone we're attached to that like we know is very well versed in combat with the Force.
Yeah,
Not to mention Ezra's had to survive on that planet for many years without a
without a
lightsaber. So
lightsaber. Yeah, had to get
he's
by some kind of way.
in a way you could say this is how he's kept up with his training. Maybe he's become more in tune with the Force. I mean, he also seems older and wiser as well as a part of it. And I mean, like Jedi who focus more on the Force end up becoming more like Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon didn't focus on lightsaber combat; he focused on learning about the Force. That's why like
Yeah,
lightsaber colors have meanings and stuff like that. Like a blue lightsaber means you're a guardian, green means you're a counselor, and all this and that.
yeah.
But
I liked how that played out. I did though. Um, I wondered. I well, not wondered. I was hoping. We talked about it last week. I was hoping to see. I don't know. Maybe somehow Ezra had developed some new power or a new skill or something like that, and maybe we could see it when he got ready to start fighting. I was at home like, oh, here we go. Let's see something new. And then we got the force push. I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm happy, to see it. But I thought we were gonna get something we hadn't seen yet. So I was,
I was a little surprised with the interaction of her, like, here, take the lightsaber kind of thing. I thought it would have been done beforehand, but
yeah.
oh, whatever, But I guess we got to see their banter, their little family thing that they did in Rebels, like how it was something like that.
Yeah, and it was cool though just to see Ezra just running around pushing people, force pushing, just
Well, it was really cool too because, like,
especially when he stopped the lightsaber, and then when Sabine came behind and her and Sheehan got into their brawl, that was cool.
I mean, it goes to show that, like, Sabine has a lot to overcome in order to get better at it. Because I mean, Ezra was handling Shin like it wasn't really that bad,
Yeah,
like he had no lightsaber.
but it
So
also they do a good job of showing us that there's levels to this, because when Sabine is fighting non-Jedi, she kicks ass.
yeah,
So it's good that they showed us, hey, there's levels. There's levels to this.
yeah, like Sabine's right here. We can see Ezra's obviously above her because he's
Yeah.
fighting without a lightsaber, and then Ahsoka just came in there and like,
Yeah, I got y'all back.
yeah.
the,
But
the guy she pushed in the back, I'm talking about from off camera to through the camera. Like, what just happened?
to answer your question earlier, going back, uh, Thrawn Thrawn is a very calculated guy, very tight timetables and stuff like that. So usually he already has his stuff, already sorted. Like he's got his room clean. What about you, kind of thing. So like I'm thinking Morgan Elsbeth was building that ship ring, the hyperspace ring, and maybe it was just done ahead of time, or maybe he could not start the loading procedure until she had arrived. Because I mean,
Like milk has got a
you,
spoiled date.
I know you and I have started calling them caskets. We don't know, but they've been calling them cargo, but they look like caskets.
Yeah, they definitely look like caskets. I'll be surprised if they're not. They might have
So,
another name for it, but it is what we look at as caskets.
but I mean, like when I started thinking of that, I'm like, okay, well, they also could be weapons, and like I'm just getting into my engineering side of things, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe they didn't want to risk bringing them out of the vault, right? Kind of like you wouldn't like load money like if it was a bunch of money, you wouldn't like take it out of the vault and wait for your truck to arrive. You only bring it out when the truck is present, then you start loading money from the vault into a truck, right?
But yeah, but that's if you're waiting on the truck. If you already got the truck, you just waiting on the new tires, and
No,
you know
that
what time the tires is gonna be there.
well, that's kind of like my point. Is just like it was the reason they weren't ready and brought them out was because they needed to make sure that they were already present. You know, it's kind of like those Garda trucks. You know, like they wouldn't get the money from like the managers and the buildings and everything and then wait outside for the truck. They would only do it when the truck is present, would do it, then come directly to it. And I'm thinking it's that kind of thing because I mean, why would you leave your asset out in open air at risk? And maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not the risk thing. Maybe they have to be held within a certain temperature. You know, maybe they were kept underground where it was really cold.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it could be one of those things where just leave it to your imagination. But I think really what it was movie magic, TV magic.
yeah,
We gotta fill the plot out. We gotta like have a reason to keep them here.
yeah, like a story delay. You know, put a
Yeah,
timer on it so
yeah,
you feel the crunch.
yeah, no doubt. Um, I tell you what, they keep showing us this the chimera sitting on top of the catacombs, and then the image it looks weird, man. I'm telling you, it looks like I don't want to kill my future possible monetization, but it looks like someone's sitting on a finger. I mean, it's jarring to see. It's like,
Well, it's and
really?
you know, it's not really jarring for me, but I could completely sympathize and understand. I think it's pretty cool because it's the first time you've ever seen something enter what is like the actual like shuttle bay of a
Yeah,
Star
for it to
Destroyer
work,
like
for us to
that.
see how see it work that way, it seems convenient and cool. But it looks weird when they zoom out and show. I'm telling you, the catacomb, it looks like this. It looks like a finger, and it looks like a hand. Like it's weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that angle. We could just drop down and just walk through. Like that's pretty badass. But it was weird.
But
So yeah, but that kind of bothered me a little bit. Like, get this thing loaded so when she get here, we can just take off. You know how your mama say, "Hey, get everything ready. Be waiting."
oh yeah,
He
I mean,
wasn't wait. He made her
you know,
wait.
like this is also something to take into for thought. This is all happening within the same day. Like
Well,
from
oh, it's 3 rotations. Remember, she said it was 3 rotations to load it.
okay,
So it's
well
kind of like a
then
3-day period or something like that.
so all right, that's a good point right there. I totally forgot that. So if it's like you know a 3 day rotation and Ahsoka just arrived with the whales, that means there's been 2 days in the previous galaxy. So it sounds like there's probably a time delay between traveling. You know, so maybe we might see something again with Hera and the Defense Council or what I think they're called. Maybe they'll prepare something and have like a blockade ready or something.
Maybe. It'll be nice to pay off at least that, how serious is this threat. It's for them
Oh,
that maybe if you end the season with Thrawn coming and they're looking like, oh hell.
now you got me really thinking though, because like, did they call where they were pulling those things out of the catacombs?
Yes.
Okay, so then they would have to be caskets
Exactly. That's why I've been saying it. Like that's what you have in catacombs. That's what
because like
the
I mean I
catacombs
started
is just a
calling
nice way to say a fancy graveyard
yeah like
or a grave house.
but yeah I was like wondering why we just went straight to caskets because I had no problem with it but I had to think about it. I'm like, am I saying something wrong here or
And if
am I
you
jumping to conclusions?
and if you remember Clone Wars, remember we saw the witches reanimate the dead. So I'm thinking that's just they're bringing him along as that's extensions to his army.
Yeah, I think so
That's what I'm
too. Like
thinking. That's his army.
maybe like a repopulate Dathomir kind of thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It'd be
you
cool if
know,
Dathomir is the new home base.
I would not be surprised. That would actually be very cool, and that would be the only planet that seems to be as eerie and as terrifying as Thrawn.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it'll be cool if we get a mix of the guys and the girls. The Zabrat, is it? Am I saying it right? The Zabrat, the
the
Maul's
Zabrans, yeah,
Maul's
the Night
species.
Brothers,
Yeah, if we
yeah.
can get both of them in there, that'll be pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, like, something else to think of is like, let's just say that we get surprised and they're not bodies and they're not caskets.
It's
The only
confetti
one,
surprise.
I think they could be. I think they could be weapons. And what I mean by that is that like Thrawn is an inventor as well. Like he doesn't just command people. He also designs and creates new weapons. I mean, he has done
Yeah,
so. I mean, in Rebels, we saw that he created a whole new TIE fighter called the TIE Defender,
yeah.
and that's something like
And even his
I saw
Chimera is different than anybody else's starship, Star
exactly.
Destroyer.
Like that's why like the use of the minefield is like kind of a big thing because like a lot of Imperial Star Destroyers probably wouldn't waste space and carry those because they don't think they're as effective or useful to their plans. Thrawn
Well,
is
I
the guy
mean,
that
he
thinks,
called it an Imperial minefield, so makes me believe that that's what the Empire used, kind of with regularity.
oh
But
yeah, I mean they used them, but like
nobody does it like Thrawn, though.
yeah, nobody does because he fights asymmetrically. You know, like he doesn't fight the streamline like everyone else. I mean, I'm just pointing out that that's the kind of genius he is and why he's terrifying because like in the comics you would see that like he would have remodeling of weapon systems and cargo space and they're like why would you put landmines on your ship like you that's like not in any of our strategies and this and that and he'd be like no I want it because I want the option
Yeah,
and like everyone's like you're out of your mind you're wasting cargo space you could put 10 more TIE fighters in there and he's like no I don't need 10 more TIE fighters.
I got what I need.
Yep.
Yeah, I dig that. And just another thing, though, with the Night Sisters and those caskets or whatever they are, another reason why I think they're caskets is I think that's got something to do with the deal that Thrawn made. You know,
Oh,
bring
that's
my people. I
definitely
think that is the deal, and
that is definitely the
I
deal.
think if it's weapons, that's just an all Thrawn thing. I don't think he would need the Night Sisters for that. I think it's an army. I think his deal is bring our people, bring us and our people with, and we'll give you your army.
Now, that also makes me think of something. I can't remember if we talked about it last time, but I would definitely like to touch this one. Shin Hati made a very good point. Everyone's leaving. Why do you think we should stay? And I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm like, look, even the grandmothers,
They getting the hell out of there.
and they've been there for who knows how long. They said like, oh, we sent our people out like thousands of years ago, and I'm like, okay, what has happened on this planet to the point that like that these creepy witches, even they don't want to fuck with some shit, whatever it is that's
Yeah,
happening.
and I think we'll get maybe just a tease of it. I don't think we'll fully get it flushed out. We might get a tease of it. But why you talked about Shin? What stood out to me was her and Balin's split. It felt cold and emotionless. Like we talked about it last week that Shin looked like she wasn't feeling Balin's plan, and apparently, hey, that's a smart dude. He picked up on it too.
Yeah.
Um, but it just, I don't know. Between a master and apprentice, I know the Jedi is supposed to have emotion, but you're not Jedi. Remember, they made a point to tell us that. So
I trained you to
it
be
felt
more.
colder than it need. Like it just felt devoid of any type of emotion. He's like, all right, we're done here.
Yeah, it's more of a like the teachings and everything is all about practicality. You know.
And I tell you what, that I noticed the second they split, they both took a L.
Yep.
That's one thing this show is telling you: stay together. There's power and safety in numbers. Soon as they split up, each one of them lost.
No, I thought of this later, and I know I'm not the only one that thought this too. Because as soon as I started thinking about it, it's like the YouTube algorithm could read my mind. I didn't even say a word. I think it's very possible that this power or whatever it is that might be on there in Peridia that he's looking for, it could be Abeloth.
I saw that too. But I don't know. Hold on to that because I want to get into that
That would be
because
spoiler.
I have a topic on finale predictions and stuff, so I want to get into that because that can be some finale ish, maybe season 2 ish. I did see a lot of talk on that, so I want you to get into that because I have a lot of questions. I don't know much of anything about Abeloth.
Okay.
Um, but before we go there, the Noti. I thought the little mobile homes was pretty cool, man. You know,
And then, hey, they're pretty cool.
pack up and ride. You know, they bring new meaning to the RV. You know, they sit up and it for once it's a home, and then it gets on the move, and then they got the little metal covers if they want to duck and hide. Those are pretty sweet, man. For some pacifists, those
Hey,
are pretty
man,
cool, man. I like those.
I mean, that worked out really well. Like if you got an RV, guys, I'll need some upgrading to do.
Yeah, the
Um,
Noti are fun, man. I need more.
I really liked it because they did like I'm really into like history and Western culture and stuff like that, and they did a wagon circle around the one that went down, like they protected, like they stayed
Yeah,
together. So like circle up, like a wagon circle is like a defensive maneuver you would do, like when like the Native Americans would attack you. You would put the carts all real close together and then circle up and get in the center and fight outward.
yeah.
But
I'm a little disappointed that Ezra ain't at least teach them how to fight. You know, you ain't got to make them no weapons, but maybe give them some pointers. You ain't got. What else are you doing out there?
I think I like Ezra. He's always been very in tune with the nature of the Force in by living things, not like the Force itself, but how the Force is in tune with every living thing. That's why he's always seeming to connect with things that only he can understand. If you notice, like the Purgle, the Noti, the Lothwolves, like that's his thing. Like he connects with them that way. And I noticed that he he uses them by having them play to their strengths. And I think that's what that is. Why I think instead of like maybe taking the time for them to learn how to fight, maybe it's because like their whole way they're developed, obviously, as you can tell, is a defensive one. So he just helps them play towards their strengths more.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought that hey, you about to get up out of there, and you still ain't taught these people how to defend themselves. They gonna get killed as soon as you leave.
And now I'm wondering, like,
Did you
if
see the Howler sitting inside the mobile home with
oh
him and
yeah,
high? He was like, I laughed at
yeah.
that.
Now I wonder what's going to happen to the Noti and to those bandits. If everyone's trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
The Nodi will be the dominant species on Peridia. It's a scary thought. But ladies and gentlemen, please get in those comments. Tell us what y'all thought about all of that.
Oh yeah.
Um, okay, so all right, let's go on and get into it. Final finale predictions. What are you expecting to see next week? And I got some of my own too.
Well, how about you shoot first? I got a thing.
Okay, I go first. Not a problem. I think right out the gate, the mic drop for this series. Okay, let me set it up. One since this show began, everybody that saw Rebels was kind of backhanded calling it Rebel season 5. Self included. You know, you got so many elements of Rebels and all the characters from Rebels and all of that. It just makes sense.
And what's wrong with that? Like,
Nothing is wrong
yeah,
with that. It's
I
just
was
I'm
just
just
saying.
saying that to set up my point. Um, so everybody was calling it Rebel season 5, and that's cool. Um, but I'm thinking that maybe this was used to just bring back Thrawn and Ezra, bring them back into the galaxy so they can be used going forward. But I think season 2 of Ahsoka will be more focused on just Ahsoka. We got our Rebels season 5 because we wanted to bring back Ezra and Thrawn. So now I'm thinking everybody makes it back except for Balin and Ahsoka, which I mentioned last week, but nothing that I saw yesterday took me out of that belief, out of that train of thought. So I think Balin and Ahsoka stay behind, and I think they use season 2 to flesh out more of this new galaxy, and that is the Ahsoka show. Ahsoka is going to show us more of what this guy, because you can't just give us the galaxy for 2 3 episodes and then go back home, and we only saw just this one little corner of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be something like that where she sets it up. Maybe her and Balin season 2 go together and find this new power. Maybe Ahsoka maybe she powers up. And I keep saying I feel like I want to see these projects add up to make the sequel trilogy make sense. And maybe Ahsoka just stays over there and builds up something, whether it's a new Jedi Order or maybe it's just training and learning a new power or something. And then on the back end, when they do the new Ray movie or whatever, maybe she comes back and we train a new race, a new order, a new Jedi Order. I don't know. What you think about that?
That's a pretty down the line kind of thing. But I think you're
I play
right.
the long game, as does Filoni.
Um, I think you got it right when it's like I think there's going to definitely be more to this because you can't just show us this planet in a new galaxy and then just get the hell out. Like there's going to be more to it. I think it's very possible, probably more likely, they may not make it back to the next galaxy. I think they might just get stuck on that planet altogether.
The only thing that I can't figure out, just in trying to see how this is going to play out, I can't figure out Shin Hati's end game. Does she make it back or does she die? There's some. I don't think she stays behind. I think it's either she gonna get killed or she gonna make it back with Ron and them. That's where I'm stuck at.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
think
know.
she's gonna die.
It feels that way, especially after the comment that Balin made. Those who rush to victory fall, or some along those lines.
Those who rush to victory find defeat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that
Uh,
that was so ominous. It feels like they're telling us.
maybe it's me. Maybe I just have an eye for detail. But Shin Hati has got like all the kind of look, both physical and emotional qualities of like something that's already telling me that she's destined to fail and die. Like I think like that's what's gonna happen. I really do. I don't know why. I can't really explain it, but I feel like she's
No, it does kind of feel that way though.
like
That's why I'm so like I don't know. And I think the main reason why I don't know is just because I want to see more of that character. I want to see that character get developed. But it feels like they got one offer. Like, all right, we done. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I like Shin Hati though. Shin Hati. Yeah, she's cold blooded though. Especially the one liners. I don't want to lose the one liners. She the queen of the one liners.
yeah, she's got really good.
Yeah,
But
she would have
I
been
don't know.
great in a 1990s cop drama.
But I don't know. I'll make it quick because I can drag it out. Yeah, I think there's a very good possibility that it's either going to be some make it off the planet, some don't. They all get trapped on the planet, or or there is a delay to the plans and nobody leaves, and then the great unveiling of the power of the planet is revealed, and then that's where the finale ends.
What if it's like a
It
living planet or something like that?
would not surprise me. That is something that used to exist in the EU, like the Yuuzhan Vong, for instance. The whole Vong thing is that like they went out and conquered the galaxy and all this and that, and their own planet, which is a living, sentient, thinking thing on its own, was disgusted with them and just literally dipped out on them and abandoned them, and had their own homeworld had been lost to them for like millennia. So would not surprise me if it's a living sentient planet.
Yeah. Maybe they do a little like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Ego the Living Planet. Do something like that.
But I mean, to also go back to the Abeloth thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Give me some of that. See,
all right,
tell me and the people, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that has no idea what who this Abeloth is. I just seen it. I seen some pictures on YouTube of this ghostly looking chick with exposed teeth all the way around.
yeah. She is the most powerful living force sensitive creature in the galaxy. Like she is okay. So you know the father, the daughter, and the son.
Right. The
Okay,
Mortis gods.
okay. They all represent something, right?
Right.
Okay. What is the father?
Balance.
Then don't you notice that there is a missing person in that little family?
A mother.
And if the father's the balance, what would that make the mother?
Chaos.
And that's who Abeloth is.
Mm. Boom. Hey, y'all, look. I swear, y'all, when I was in school, I never passed tests that easy. This is when you
Yeah.
care about something. You own it.
So like, there is a mythos and everything, which I can't even remember. But to help Cliff Notes it, back when it used to just be them. I mean, they weren't the only ones. There used to be quite a few creatures like them. They ended up being the only ones left. I forgot why. And then there was like some kind of like pool of knowledge or power or something like that. Kind of like think like the Bible, like the Garden of Eden, and then there's the tree with the golden apples of the forbidden knowledge. Well, Abeloth kind of did what Eve did and went into the pool, and it was like either about power or I think it was the pool of power. And it just utterly corrupted her. She became this horrible like creature. She straight up chaos, destroy everything. So they had to imprison her, and they locked her away. And the only thing is like that when they did that, they had to put her away and everything. They had to lock themselves away because they realized that the potential threat that they hold towards the greater galaxy, which is why the Mortis gods were kind of hidden in their own little realm, and you never see them. And on top of that, if they ever were to come out of that, they were afraid that Abeloth, while in her slumber, would awaken, detecting their presence, and could break free of her cage. The whole reason I'm explaining that is I'm thinking it's possible that if Abeloth were to be a thing in this, we could call her the mother, so to speak. How funny would that be with all the great mothers and Mother Talzin, and now it's the mother.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
But I think if she's involved, if that's the way the story's going, she's trapped on that planet or inside the planet. But
That would be interesting.
I really doubt it. I think it's going a different direction. I think I'm just gonna shoot it real quick. I think they're gonna find like some structure or something, or some ruin. Go in there. They're gonna find an ancient creature that's been alive for thousands of years. I think it's gonna be Lord Cotton, and then he's gonna tell them like the history of the galaxy and the power and the evil or whatever that is being, watched, and he's the custodian of it, the guardian of it. That's what I hope for, maybe, but that's what I think it is. But I think it's one of those two if it were to be something familiar. Oh, I also forgot to mention Enoch, that stormtrooper. I did not notice it before, but it was something on my mind. And when I listened to him, because he got to talk more in this episode,
Right.
the reason the Recontan thing is a theory is because I noticed that Filoni has been pulling a lot of elements from Knights of the Old Republic, which is, takes place like thousands of years ago. And we're dealing with ancient stuff right now that's going to be thousands of years old. So it kind of lines up.
Yeah.
But Enoch sounds exactly like a character from that game. And that is Darth Malak. His voice is exactly the same as Darth Malak.
That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. Or do you think maybe because a lot of those games aren't canon anymore. You think maybe that's just a reintroduction, a new
I
way to
think
bring Malik?
I don't think they would bring Malik, but I think it's definitely Filoni, and that like that's how Filoni gets so much love and fandom is because of guys like me and guys like
Using
you.
that lure.
Look, he's using that lore and putting that in there, and that helps hit that nostalgic factor. And they're like, "Are you kidding me? Okay, this dude obviously knows what he's doing because he loves the same stuff I do, and he put that in there just for guys like me."
Yeah.
And the thing is like Star Wars. I mean, not Star Wars, but Disney was going to have a re-release and a remake of Knights of the Old Republic game, and it was nearly finished. Then they pulled the plug on it. So, like, if it was going to happen, it would have been a great time to do it. For reasons I don't know why they pulled the plug on it, but at the same time, it makes sense. Like, oh, we got this game that y'all love. Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh, there
Yeah.
are hidden elements of stuff from Knights of the Old Republic in this show.
Yeah. That would have been great timing.
Just the
Well, I mean,
watching.
it's not over yet. We still got other shows coming. There are other Star Wars projects coming out. The Acolyte is apparently that's still happening. It's just pushed back. We don't know when. As well as some of the other projects they announced. So maybe, hey, you can still set it up. Don't we have a wasn't there a rumored Old Republic show or series movie or something coming?
Yeah, like I
Be a
think it
good
was
time to do that.
like a trilogy.
Be a
Like
good time for that. So we'll see. Um, okay, before we wrap this show up, so I know this is a little shorter episode, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, we getting better at this, so we're not dragging this stuff on.
yeah.
So, but some cool stuff that I saw in this episode, like the Princess Leia name drop, the C-3PO. Wait, I don't need to show any identification. I'm C-3PO. Or then when that guy, I always forget his name, the father from the kid from the show nobody cared
Oh,
about.
Ziono.
Ziono.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
he's
surprised
an
I even
ass.
remember his
He's
name.
an ass. But
Oh,
when he dropped that comment, a mere droid, better be Chopper looked like he was finna drop a body. Chopper almost went out. He
the droid.
it's funny now how you can kind of tell what Chopper is saying. You can make it out now, if you've been paying attention long enough.
Yeah, he's got that eye twitch. He's like,
Yeah, you better watch out. That droid is psychotic. He got bodies, man. You better watch how you talk. Chopper's gonna
he's
come
killed a
from.
lot of people.
Chopper gonna spray you
He's
with some
killed
tar and light you on fire.
he's killed other droids. I've literally watched him like push droids off of ships, and he's like,
Yeah. Chopper is an assassin, low key. So y'all better be careful. But I thought that was cool. And then
and
the training videos, the Anakin training videos,
oh yeah, that
that
was
that
really
was
cool.
cool. That was cool. But hey, what did I miss anything? Anything that you saw that I didn't talk on?
Hmm.
And the same question goes for you guys is watching at home, on the road, wherever you're at.
Yeah,
Did
help
I
us
did I
out,
miss
guys.
it? Did I miss
Where y'all
anything?
at?
Get in those comments. Tell me if I forgot about it. I'll give you a shout out. Make you famous. Or as famous as I am, which isn't very far, but eventually.
No, man, I think you covered it pretty well. There's not much I could really put out there that other than Ezra is just like blind in the dark on the situation. He's just happy everyone's here until they're probably going to tell him like, "Oh, this is the situation." He's like,
Yeah.
"Sabine, you keep the worst secrets."
Yeah, you could have held everything else and told me only this. This is the most important thing.
That's something I got to say is I love Sabine, but damn it, like like when it comes to characters you watch on shows that hold secrets, Sabine holds the worst secrets. Like when it's other stuff and other characters, it's like, okay, come on, really speak up. How bad is it? No, Sabine. Nope, I developed a weapon that killed a lot of people on Mandalore, and nope, I'm not going to tell you that we might be trapped on this planet, but
Yeah.
hey, I'm here.
Getting home is very important. Well, I'm sorry, Ezra. We might not go home. Surprise!
Yeah, forgot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's gonna probably take her words and throw it right back at her and be like, always a plan, never a good follow through. Well, it worked, didn't it? And now that's gonna turn around and be said to her like,
Yeah.
yeah. So about that, you criticized me and my plans, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I can't wait to see how that is revealed and how he reacts. But I tell you though too, I hope we don't have to wait to the Thrawn movie to see more of Ezra. I hope that maybe they'll give us a little sprinkle him into Mandalorian. I'm hoping that we see Thrawn. They already gave him a mention last season, so maybe we can sprinkle him into all of the little projects leading up to the movie. But I don't want it to just that be that, and now we got to wait a couple years till we see this project.
It
It's
might be.
it's a
I
strong
mean,
possibility, but
I mean, right now,
I
like
think Thrawn should at least be in Mandalorian because they had a whole council talk about him last season. So you got to pay that off, him coming back. Because a lot of them didn't believe he was coming back. So even if it's just one episode to, I'm back, bitch.
I and like I really hope that it's like heir to the empire kind of stuff. Like in the sense that Thrawn does make it back, and then parts of the Imperial remnant start coming together, and he starts reforming the Imperial fleet and everything.
Yeah,
The real threat.
I think they will do that, and I think that movie is going to be based on that.
Good. That's what I want. And hey, man, take your time. I mean, the whole thing is it's gonna be a little while, just
Yeah.
because like right now this is Dave Filoni's first ever live action thing he's directed completely on his own, nobody else.
Not only that,
And
but we come off a strike. No, they haven't been working. Usually, production is happening when we watching this season. The next season is already in production, but it's not this time. Nothing is on the books. They got to start fresh. So it might be a while before we get
yep,
any new Star
definitely
Wars content.
definitely behind on the ball on that.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate part.
But I
But
think they also want to see what the reception is for Ahsoka as well, in order to greenlight more projects for Filoni.
keep
Because
just keep
he
bringing Anakin back.
and
Just keep
like
bringing back Hayden Christensen.
he's also a story writer himself. So like whether the strike was going or not, he already wrote it out. So like if it's greenlit, he's gonna be like, cool, already got here's the next season.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So like writer strike or not, Filoni's got already got it worked out.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get some more content. It sucks that it's going to take a while, but like you said, take your time, get it right.
Yeah,
Um, I totally agree.
I'd much rather wait like 3 years or 5 years in order for a really really quality thing to come out. You
Yeah,
know,
do it. Just do it right. Don't rush it. Um, so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hop in those comments. What do you want to see going forward? What's your hope for the Star Wars future, and as well as the future for Ahsoka? Where do you see the series going? Do you see a season 2? Do you see her still there in Peridia? Do you see her back in the galaxy? Talk about it. Tell me what you think. But as usual, my brother, man, this was fun. This was fun, my guy.
had a good time.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, like I said, hit that notification button because we coming back. We gonna definitely get into this Loki season 2.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Loki was one of my favorite of the Marvel Disney Plus shows.
Oh, that
Um,
was probably the best one out
yeah,
of a lot of them.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they bring a Victor Timely character. And do we get some Kang in there? Or is it just Victor Timely? Is that the only variant that we see in the series? And how is this going to connect going forward? We got Secret Wars coming. We got Deadpool 3 coming, and the TVA is supposed to be in Deadpool 3. So will we see this set that up at all? Um, the Marvels, the movie The Marvels is supposed to come like it's supposed to drop. I want to say like the final week, the Loki season finale week or something like that. The Marvels movie is coming out. So will there be a little setup there? Although those worlds don't really mix. The Marvels is more space based, and Loki they're dealing with time travel, so that's probably gonna set up Deadpool more than anything. But yeah, and I ain't gonna get too far ahead of myself, but y'all tune in because we gonna get into these conversations. I can't wait. Um, you got anything before we get up out of here? Stood
Nah,
out?
man, I'm good. Make sure you love on that dog.
Yeah. That's my buddy. That's my homie. That's my dog. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, please give us a like, share, subscribe, comment, turn on that notification so you don't miss out. And from us here at the the Street Geeks, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We out. Keep it nerdy.
Later.